I think there's plenty of churches that this is something that they face. The church starts aging, and then how do you bring back the younger generation, and how do you inspire the younger generation and help that group kind of grow again in the church? So what did you guys do? Like when you started it, what were some of the things that you saw really work and saw God working through?
Yeah, there were a couple of things that I would say the first thing was that we were trying to speak to a postmodern generation. Like the moment that we're in culturally is very different than the moment that when these churches started. The message that resonated was a very
Right,
different
right,
message. And so I think about like what really resonates with my people. And I go, wow, there's something different here. And so what we did was we, had big events, invited them all. They were fun. And then we said, these are the things that resonate to our people. Let's preach them. Let's teach them. And people got converted. They fell in love with the idea of
right.
Jesus. And then as that happened, the other thing that's really interesting is we became a great place for you to land after you had gone to college. And maybe you had, become a Christian somewhere else and gone to college, and they were looking for a church that felt a little bit more modern, younger, and their message resonated. So people were like, I'd love to move there and be a part of the church there. And so we grew by way of attraction, but also by way of just of
Right.
conversion.
Yeah. What do you remember, or what sticks out in terms of some of the ways that, like, the messages that resonated with that generation at that time? Like, was there anything that just like, oh man, when you talk about Jesus, like these things really stand out to them?
Yeah, I think you were in the rise right now of a couple of, from people like Jordan Peterson to people like, John Mark Comer, when the rise of kind of these, what I would call intellectual people that are also asking people to take
Right.
responsibility. Like that message to me is something that Jesus preached, but is also really resonating particularly for younger males. And we started to kind of do that. Okay, well, what does Jesus teach here? Like, what does Jesus teach here that would resonate for my people? Well, Jesus tells us to in John chapter 6, when they cross over to the other side of the Sea of Galilee, all the people that were following Jesus looks at them and is like, you want to come here because you ate and had your fill. Don't work for food that will spoil and fade. Work for food that will endure to eternal life. And so he has this moment where he goes, you just want me for what I give you. That's not enough. Like, to me, that's a really compelling message, because it's like, wait, so I shouldn't just come to you for kind of a self-help thing. I should come to you for who you are, and that's bigger than maybe yeah. That's one idea. The other idea is that, like, I think that the statement about, is sin an evil that the person who does needs to be crushed for, or is it something that's crushing the person? Those are two different ways of looking at sin. When I see a man who's struggling with, a porn addiction, I'm going, wow, the sin has crushed them. Not that man needs to be crushed because of his sin. And it's true that he needs to be crushed. God, whatever. But in terms of the way I relate to them is on a level of, you don't even want to do that. Like that's not where you want to be. And I think that message really resonates to my
Right.
generation.